This is now the last video lecture for Module 1. This video lecture will be dealing with the concept of elasticity, specifically elasticity of demand. We may spend just a moment at the very end about elasticity of supply. And here's a real-life example that if you've ever worked in sales or worked with salespeople or marketing people is very, very common. Let's say you're the sales manager at Best Buy or Walmart or any place. And let's say your boss says we're 20% below our quota, our budget for the month or the quarter or the year. And the boss says to you, the sales manager, what do you plan to do about it? Well, in my 40 years of experience, about 99.9% of salespeople will have the same answer. They'll say, let's put it on sale. Well, before we do that, we need to understand what's referred to as elasticity of demand. The basic concept is, let me draw quickly. There's a demand curve, and we understand the law of demand. The concept of elasticity of demand answers the question, how much will the quantity change if the price changes? The law of demand says as the price, let's say, goes up, the quantity demanded will go down. Elasticity helps us answer, how much will it go down? And the reason that's important has to do with the profit formula. Here is the most basic profit formula you may have seen if you've taken accounting. Profit of any company equals revenues minus costs, or sales minus expenses. We're going to use the revenue minus cost. If you, as the manager of the business, want to improve your profits, you have three choices. Make revenue go up, costs go down, or some of both. When we talk about elasticity, we're going to focus on ways to increase revenue. Well, revenue, let's say you're selling crayons, is the number of crayons you're selling times the selling price per unit, or quantity times selling price per unit. That's revenue. And you still have minus costs. So the question is, if we're trying to make revenue better, to make profit better, what happens if we change the price? Let's pick a product, sort of our base case. We have a product that sells for $10. We're normally selling 10. Our revenue is 100. And the store manager says to you, the sales manager, that's below our quota, below our budget. What are you going to do to increase the number? So you say, let's have a 10% off sale. Price goes from 10 to 9. Every number on this slide I made up. Quantity sold does go up. That's good news. Quantity goes from 10 to 11. Our new revenue is 9 times 11 is 99. So far, it doesn't look like a 10% off sale was a good idea. Revenue got lower. Let's try a 20% off sale. Original price 10, lower it to 8. That's a 20% off sale. Let's say quantity goes from 10 up to 13. So price went down 20%, quantity went up 30%. This is the reason stores have sales. Let's multiply and see what the new revenue is. $104. This is the typical case of why a manager puts something on sale. Revenue has gone from 100 to 104. However, you just got an A in MBA 510, and you suggest to your boss, maybe we should try something different. Let's take the price of $10, and believe it or not, let's increase the price from 10 to 11. Sorry, my marker isn't working again. Let's increase the price from 10 to 11. There it is. So we increase price 10. And again, I made up these numbers. Let's pretend quantity sold goes from 10 and stays at 10. In other words, the quantity sold didn't change at all. Let's get our revenue. 11 times 10 is $110. So at this point, is it better to have a 20% off sale or a 10% price increase? This is what elasticity of demand is all about. If you can understand what causes elasticity, what creates elasticity of demand, you can better predict what you should do or what will happen if you change prices. I'm afraid I'm going to need another video to go through the 5 factors that affect elasticity of demand.